Right, let's get some people watching first before we kick this off. So we're gonna watch this video in a minute. We're gonna follow along. We're gonna follow along, singing a song. Let's get some people watching first. Live. Okay, I'm live. Boo. Hey Sambo. How you doing? Right, just wait for a couple more people to jump on. Right, yeah, it's interesting with interesting uninstalling Norton 360 for gamers that my latency's gone down by a whole 0.1. So that's normally 1.4-ish there. 1.45 and now it's 1.35. So it's gone down by a whole one. That's interesting. I mean, the DPC driver, hardware driver latency hasn't changed. But the process latency's gone way down. So that's a good thing. So I'm running less in the background now. So yeah, okay. So I'll probably just put that Norton on my work PC or something, my other PC or my streaming PC, and use it there for the extra utilities. I am going to struggle though if I have to put in any passwords on this computer because it has my password manager on it. So I'm going to have to refer to another one if I do that. Right, so so I'm starting at 81 processors. So this computer's already had FreeTime Tech tool, which is based on CTT, among another one. So it's already run this. So I'm on 81 processors and 1200 threads. It's interesting that the threads have come down as well. That's normally about 1500 with Norton running. So those threads have come down too. There's a lot less going on. I mean, Norton was annoying me anyway. Every time I created a new driver package with MV cleanstall, it would say it was blocking it, and it wouldn't say why it was blocking it, Norton. And it was driving me nuts because you have to run it through once, you have to then exclude the file because it was blocking it, and then run it through again, and that was driving me nuts. So it's probably a good thing that I'm taking off that Norton antivirus anyway. All right, so let's try this. Let's load up this video, and we can watch it together, and we can go through the steps. So
let me show you.
Reaction video, everybody.
Evolved over the past 3 years.
I don't think I've ever done a reaction video.
Literally gone to plays I didn't think was even possible. So let's get on the desktop here, waste no time, and start looking at Windows Utility.
So you open up a terminal brackets admin.
If you've never run the utility, all you're doing is on the bottom right hand here, clicking your start menu, terminal with admin. And we're just going to do IRM. christitus.com/win and typing IEX, just like you see on the screen.
Let's do that. Ready? So escape that. So terminal admin. What was the text again? Hang on a minute. We need Discord. We need to make that bigger. So IRM christitus.com IRM chris/win. Oh, okay, I can just do that. That's easy. IRM christitus.com/win and IE. Oh, wait. Pipe it. IEX. So we're done. Yeah? Alrighty, so it's launched it. So it's obviously downloaded something. What's it doing in the background? Wait. So it is checking if Chocolatey is installed. Chocolatey already installed. So that's what it's done in the background, and then it's launched this. So we've got some things up here. So it says install, tweaks, config, update, micro win. And it's got a big list of things on here. Is that what's currently installed, or are they just... No, it's not current. I mean, so they don't have Starships installed. MV clean install, Afterburner. So this looks like it's putting things on. Yeah? So this is a tab, what it looks like, where you can install things, add things. So I don't know whether this does a... actually, that's a good point. Does this do a restore point before you do anything else? Because if not, I'm going to create one. I know we've created a few already today. Create a restore point. Pre-CTT. Yeah? Yeah, lets you install apps. Mr. Biscuit, hello! We are debloating Windows at the moment with an app called CTT. Chris Titus. Something. Chris Titus T something. I don't know what the T stands for. Right, so what are we doing? Let's go back to the video. It's only a 5-minute video. So
this launches the tool.
Yep.
This tool,
with you
can install a ton of different programs on the main screen. In this latest update, we now have a filter section. So it's getting to the point where there's just so much here. You're like, hey, I just need to update or just install PowerShell. So you'll just go Control F, PowerShell, or just Power, and then it'll just kind of limit it down. So it makes it much easier to find whatever it is you're looking for. So
that's just going to use Chocolatey to download it, surely.
Huge library of programs, and you can check multiple ones, whatever it is, and it'll just install all of them in one go. Makes it so much better. So that's all I have to say about this. One other cool feature of it is you can just click the Update All button. So any program you install through here, instead of having to go through
previously
every single program, you can just hit Upgrade All. The tweaks section is kind of where the bread and butter is. It takes a lot of the process count down on new installs. So a lot of times, just click Recommended Desktop. If you've been using this for a while, there's 2 extra options I do recommend, and that is deleting temporary files and running disk cleanup. Extends the time of the tool, but it will clean up a lot of junk out of your system. The advanced tweaks, I don't recommend. If you don't know what any of those things are, don't check them.
Okay, then.
Don't remove all Microsoft Store apps or Edge. I highly recommend not doing those. I just left them there for advanced users because it will break things. And if you don't know what it breaks, you shouldn't. Hey, so that's the big things with this screen. We did have some new customization preferences and kind of clean this up a little bit. You notice a little bit better presentation in this version as well. The config file, one big thing I do want to add is the Winget reinstall. New versions of Windows 23H2 and above, well, there's problems with Winget. Out of the box, it's installed, but it doesn't work. And that's just a problem. So I use Winget to install all the programs, and if you have problems, like you click a program and it doesn't install on a new Windows, come in here, click Winget, reinstall. It'll go through and install Winget in the background for you, which is just absolutely amazing.
Okay,
updates,
do that.
I always just say recommended updates with security. This only works on Windows Pro editions. Both 10 and 11 can use this Windows utility, but just know the security section's that. And the biggest,
most people are using Home.
Coolest edition for the Windows utility right now is MicroWin.
What does that mean?
This is basically NT Lite, MSNG Toolkit, all those different tools you used to make a debloated ISO. This fixes everything.
Fixes everything.
This makes it to where you can select your ISO, you download it from Microsoft, use an official Microsoft ISO, and then it sits there and uses official Microsoft tools. If you're running it for the first time, it will take a while.
So that's to create a custom
Windows ADK,
Windows
deployment package that we use in the business space.
ISO file.
That just kind of does everything for you. So you see in the background, it'll copy all the files, it'll debloat it, remove all like the built-in Microsoft.
So that's basically just doing whatever.
Why don't you just? But for those that really want a minimal one, hey,
you don't need to run that. Okay, so all I need to look like I need to run is the tweaks bit from that.
Not on a debloated version of Windows.
Maybe do that update for Winget.
That's MicroWin. There are some other features here, but very, very cool. This was actually not created by me. This is an open source project over on GitHub. So big shout out to Conti over here. Here's his GitHub. He's the big
Okay, is he
mastermind
done?
behind it. I did some little fixes for it, and like OSDIMG
more?
wasn't properly making an ISO. So
Right.
there's a couple
Jump
looking
to the
back
end.
on where this started and where it is now. It's just amazing, night and day, and I couldn't do it without everybody's support. So thank you guys so much. Thanks to the Twitch chat.
Okay, he's
to-
just
to
thanking
YouTube.
people. All right, I think we got it. I think we got it. So let's try it. Let's try it. So this, I'm assuming, is the latest version. These are all the things we can install, but I don't really need anything, so we're not going to install. Tweaks. So he said click on desktop. It did let you do a create restore point, so I'm going to do that again anyway. We'll delete temporary files and run disk cleanup. I mean, I manually do these with other apps, so which are in my guide right at the end. So, but we'll run them again anyway. What's disabled Teredo? Teredo network tunneling is an IPv6 feature that can use additional latency. Okay, well, we're not using IPv6. We disable that, so we can take that off as well. Advanced tweaks. Use with caution. Set display to performance. Set the system preference to performance. This can manually with, you can do this manually with that as well. Set the system preference to performance. What do you reckon that is? Don't know. Set the display for performance. It's a little vague, that, isn't it? What is it actually doing? Manually do this with sysdm.cpl as well. sysdm.cpl. Oh, what do you mean the display options for adjust? You're talking about these guys? Is that what it does? Is that what that is? Just these ones, that one, and that one kind of thing. Yeah, okay, that's that one. Cool. I'm curious to see what it's going to set it to. So let's do it, and then we can see what it sets to. And I know what I normally set it to, so we'll do that as well. Set time to universal connection time, dual boot. Essential for computers that are dual booting. Fixes time sync with Linux systems. Well, I am dual booting, but I'm not using Linux. Why do I need to do that? Essential for computers that are dual booting. Fixes the time sync with Linux systems. I'm not using a Linux system. Disable UAC, user account control. I normally put that on the minimum level anyway. I don't usually, well, is putting it on the minimum level the same? I normally have it here, never notify. Is disabling it completely disabling this entire window, or is disabling it just putting it to the bottom? Because I'm already doing that. We'll go with that one as well. Ooh, getting adventurous here. Rather adventurous. Right, disable notification tray calendar. Yeah, we don't like notifications. Remove all MS Store apps. Not recommended. Well, why would you put it in there? And I'm not doing the Edge one either. Remove OneDrive. Now, yeah, as I say before, don't take out OneDrive if you use it, because all your documents, everything in here will be gone. Pictures gone. Desktop gone. So do not, if it's on a OneDrive in a OneDrive directory, do not remove OneDrive. Right, set classic right-click menu. Great, Windows 11 tweak to bring back good context menus when right-clicking things in Explorer. Okay, we'll go with that. Disable IPv6, yeah. I've found a lot of problems with IPv6. Even if you're doing I've noticed, like, if you go to speed.cloudflare.com, for example, sometimes if you're running IPv6, it will kind of default to that, and it will mess up all your download and upload speeds. But if you disable IPv6 and then it can only use IPv4, which gaming servers use anyway, so you don't really need IPv6, then it runs correctly, and it identify where you are in the country as well, your location. So yeah, I don't like IPv6. Right, DNS default. I don't want to change DNS because I do that myself. Right, so what are these on the right? So customize preferences. Dark theme enabled. Yeah, we like dark themes. Bing search in start menu. Disable. Yeah, I agree with that. Number lock on startup. Yeah, I like number lock. I've got a keyboard with a number pad on it. So yeah, that's good, good. 40% of a system restore. Well, what do you mean, Paul? 40% of system restore. Verbose logon messages. Yeah, I don't care about the login process. Show file extensions. Yeah, you definitely always want that on. Snap assistant flyout. If enabled, then snap preview is disabled when maximize button is hovered. I think I'll leave that. Mouse acceleration. I don't want that on. Most people play keyboard and mouse, don't want mouse acceleration. Sticky keys. Don't most people disable sticky keys if they're playing keyboard and mouse because it adds latency. Sticky keys is an accessibility feature of some GUIs which assist users who have physical disabilities or help users reduce repetitive strain injuries. Yeah, I'm not wild about that. Right, what performance plans? I'm assuming that means power plans. Add and activate ultimate performance profile. Yes, you'd want to do that because that's quite easy to do. And then create WinUtil shortcut. No, thank you. Right, I think we're done. Have I missed anything? This is Chris Titus's Windows debloater. So we started off right, can you see at the top? So I'm basically running, where is it? So if we went back to the beginning, all right, there we go. Oh,
See on the screen, this launches the Twin and typing IEX.
So right here, all you have to do is open a terminal, terminal as bracket admin on your computer, and then you just type in IRM space christitus.com/win space pipe, which is vertical line, space IEX, and then it launches this Windows debloater. So we're debloating Windows is what we're doing. So that's all I've done so far, and then that launches. Oh, wait. That launches this tool, and we didn't do anything in the install tab. We've just gone straight into the tweaks tab, and we've pretty much ticked everything at the top and a couple of things in the advanced section. So we didn't do that one. And we've set these ones on the right like that. We added the ultimate performance power plan because I think I put instructions in my guide on how to do this, but it's easier if you just press a button, I suppose. And so we're about to press run tweaks. You ready? Unless I've forgotten anything. Anyone in chat think I've forgotten anything? Chris Titus's tool is anything mind-blowing new, but it's just a nice handy one-stop shop to debloat and install your favorite apps. MV clean install, C++, afterburner, etc. and do basic tweaks. Okay, yeah, that's all I'm expecting, Sam. This is just the same as the one we already use. Yeah, pretty much, I think, but without all the antivirus stuff having a hissy fit. So if it's a bit cleaner and it's a bit more recognized and a bit more trustworthy, I'd rather recommend this because people aren't going to then complain to me that it was working fine before you told me to do this. So if this is a bit, even if this is not so good as the Free Time Tech one, if it reduces the number of processes, I'm all for it. So this is the first time I'm testing it. Exactly, venturing into the unknown. Right, should we ready? Should we run tweaks? Because nobody's saying I've done something wrong, so I'm assuming I haven't done anything wrong. Right, ready? Let's go. Run tweaks. Wait, did that work? Yeah, something's working. So you have to Alt-Tab to get back to your terminal. So then you can see what it's doing. Okay, so now it's running the disk cleanup, but I usually run Clean Manager Plus for all that, so which is a bit better than the disk cleanup. It's got a plus on the end, which obviously means it's better, especially if you watch something called South Park. In the future, everything will just have plus on the end of it. Tweaks are finished. It says tweaks are finished. So look, it's setting services, extra services to manual. I wonder if it does anything that I don't do. So setting some of these to automatic. Maybe I don't need to do my one anymore. My services one. Sys mains to automatic, good, because we want superfetch running and we want memory compression running, so we need that running. That's important. What else we got going on? Okay, so it's pretty much going through the entire list of Windows services and setting them to the level that you think they need. So look, the AJ router one, I might take out my one, to be honest, my services one. Where do I download this and try this myself? You don't need to download it. So all you do is you right click, you start a new terminal admin and you put that command in and it will just launch it straight from your Windows. So it goes out on the web and grabs it. So as I say,
it's like you see on the screen.
So wait, let's rewind that bit. So the command is irm space christitus.com/win space vertical line space IEX. So that's how you try it. You just start a terminal, brackets admin from your Windows thing, and then you type in that. That's all you have to do. Can you see that? Do I need to zoom in on that? I don't know if I can zoom in on that anymore. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, I just want to see what else it's done. Let's start from the top, actually. Right, okay, so let's see what's up. So it's unlocked the ultimate performance power plan. Allow Wi-Fi hotspotting. Don't care about Wi-Fi because I don't even use Wi-Fi. Use Ethernet. Running script for tweak disable IPS SIX. I don't know what that. Oh, IPv6. Okay, so it's a stabled IP version 6. Setting services. So sets two services to manual. Running script for tweak storage. That hibernate to 0. Didn't I do that? Enable hibernate enable in one of my basic things. Wait. Let me double check, see if I do that. Pretty sure I do that. That's Hyper boot. Is that different to the hibernate one? Session power management hibernate. Power. Hibernate enabled. So yeah, I do that as well. Look, I do that in my one. It's just a basic thing. Okay. Fly out menu. So that's just a visual thing. Running script for tweaker hibernate. So okay, so it's doing more hibernate stuff. There's a policy consent prompt behavior admin to 0. So that must be in the UAC thing we looked at. Here, this thing, set that to 0. Yep. Toast enabled. So game DVR, so interesting. So is doing something with game DVR. Yeah, okay. So I don't do anything with these anymore, these game DVR ones, because I found that full screen optimization, FSO, is now just as good as FSE, full screen exclusive mode. So I don't bother with this anymore, but I suppose it will help you get FSE for performance mode DirectX 11 app games. If you want that, you can test that by wiggling your volume knob up and down while you're in the game, and if it shows an on-screen slider, then it's FSE's not working. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much full screen exclusive mode stuff, which I now don't really bother with anymore because it's not needed because FSO is so good. Running scripts for tweaks restore point. So it's created another restore point there. Okay, so I'm glad I created a restore point before I did any of these manual clicks. No, I think the hibernate is just turning it off, basically. So it's web-based, yeah. It's going to basically grab this tool from the web, and then you're running it from there. It's kind of running it on the fly from within your terminal. So there's the restore point. So as I say, I'm glad I created a manual one before I got it to do one as part of the script, because it did all these things pre-restore point. There, it did all of that lot before I did a restore point. So I'm glad I manually did one at the start. Scheduled task experience program update was not found. Okay. Windows auto check proxy customer experience improvement. Yeah, we don't care about feedback to Microsoft. Thank you. It's turning off scheduling task to update your maps. Is it disabled it, or is it actually deleted it? I don't know. I'll have to go and have a look. All right, policies to allow telemetry. So again, more telemetry, turning that off, reporting back to Microsoft. That's more reporting back to Microsoft. More reporting back to Microsoft. This being disabled. Advertising report, getting rid of that, back to Microsoft. So there's a lot of stuff in Windows that you just want to get rid of, the telemetry and the stuff that talks back to Microsoft to give feedback. Sorry, we're trying to game here. Allow to get help, remote assistance, allow to get help. That one worries me. Does that mean I can't do quick assist anymore? Okay, that one worries me, that does. Remote assistance, if allowed to get help. Because if I can't use quick assistant anymore, then I can't help like Wrapper and Ship and those guys. Best Ethernet settings. There's a whole section in my guide on that. And HAGs, there's a whole section on my guide on that. Well, not a section, but yes, you should use HAGs. You need it for Reflex to work properly, NVIDIA Reflex. What else is in this script? Explorer, so some tweaks to Explorer. Long paths enabled to 1. System responsiveness. Okay, so here we go. Look. These two. So let me show you this. Easiest to see actually in TCP Optimizer. It's easiest to see in TCP Optimizer, these two. Right, so what that's doing is it's setting these two here to disabled and gaming. That's what it's doing there. So network throttling indexed and system responsiveness. Now, I was testing this the other day, and it's difficult to actually measure this. It's difficult to actually measure whether this helps or not. In theory, this should be the lowest latency, but I've seen YouTube videos saying, "Oh, that's not how it actually works in reality." So I normally go with 10 on this and 10 on this, and they're kind of Windows defaults. And when I was running these ones, the 0 responsiveness and the disabling the network throttling index, when I was running this one, about 2 days ago, I got absolutely beamed by this kid that was aiming nowhere near me, and I was flying across the screen with some mythic TMNT something or grapplers, and he was aiming like half a screen away, and he was hitting every bullet. So I don't know whether it was because I was reporting my position with the upload too well to the server that made it easier for him to hit me, but when I put these back to 10 and 10, that stopped happening. So maybe coincidence. So as I say, in theory, turning these both off or down to 0 is the lowest latency, in theory. But is that a good thing for the game? So I'm not sure about these two. We'll have to revisit that one, I think. So that's basically, so this script has done this and this. That's what that script has done, here and here. So maybe we'll have to look at that one. What else we got? Menu show delay 1, auto end task 1, clear page file at shutdown. Okay, that's fine. Do mouse hover time to 400. Parameters. So that's a network one. IRP stack size to 30. I don't know what it was before. I'll have to go and look in my clean Windows environment to have a look at that one. Feed stuff was not found, probably because it's not installed. Or I've already taken it out before. Policies. Hide, scan, SCA meet now. Yeah, I don't like meet now. That's like Microsoft's equivalent to Zoom. So yeah, get rid of meet now. That's fine. Right, so game priority. Again, I do this in my basic script up here. See these? Game priorities. So I set GPU priority to 8. Yeah, correct. Priority to 6. Yeah, same. Schedule category to high. Yep. So I do all those already in my scripts. Those top 3 I think are default Windows. I think that might be that's high as well. I think that's default as well. So maybe it doesn't need to do anything like that. Right. So next. So I know it's boring, but I just want to go through each one of these lines just to kind of guess what it's, see what it's doing, see if I can recognize it. Can you show TP Optimizer again, please? I've got screenshots of my TCP Optimizer in my guide. So jump on my Discord, go to the PC tuning guide section, download the PDF, and jump to the network section in there. Complete screenshots of it. Do you recommend TCP auto tuning normal or off? So Twix, okay, so if you have it as normal, you will get your full bandwidth, download and upload. If you have it as off, it will restrict your bandwidth, and then when you run a buffer bloat test, you'll get an A+, because you're then not loading your internet line fully. So it might look good having auto tuning off, but you're actually cheating a test doing it. So I leave mine as normal. Oh, hang on, we're going on to sleep stuff now. I gotta get back through this in a sec. I don't need a drink. I have a question. Why is my sleep milliseconds near 1 most of the time, but jumps to 1.5 a few times every reading, even when nothing is running? Obviously, something is running. It's still running something in the background. It's whenever the CPU gets a bit distracted, it will kind of drop one thing, go to the other thing, and then come back again. And that's the extra little time. So it's very rare, unless you've got like a God system, it's very rare to get all 1.0s all the way down, even on idle. Because your CPU is going to be multitasking. Good to see one text scrutinizing another text's work. I'm not really scrutinizing. I just want to know what it's doing and what it's done, compared to what I normally do, and then I can kind of assess what the impact is. So I'm not really criticizing or scrutinizing. I'm just curious more than anything else. That makes sense. Right. Okay. What else we got? As long as he doesn't do anything with IRQ8, I'll take this seriously. Tweaking IRQ8 went out about at least a decade ago of its relevance. Right. Keyboard delay 0. I'm not sure what that one is, but all right. List view alpha select. I think that's just how it's showing it. Visual effects setting to 3. We're going to have to reboot in a minute, and I'll kind of go around the system and have a look to see what it's actually changed. Peak error 0, taskbar min, that one show taskbar view. Search box taskbar mode, yep, that's fine. running scripts for WPF tweak display. So what's that? Enable activity feed 0, publish user activities, upload user activities. So it's turning those off. Then it runs one for tweaks right click menu. Oh yeah, we've asked it to kind of use the old style for right click, which I'm hoping is good actually. I don't know whether it's done it already. Oh, I think it's done it already. Oh yeah, I like that one. Thumbs up for that one. Because normally I have to right click things and then do show more options and then do the thing I wanted to do, and that drives me nuts. So that's quite useful if I can now just do what I want to do straight away. Yeah, I like that. Okay, you like that? Thumbs up. I heard you can get better performance by removing unnecessary items from your autoexec.bat. What? What are you doing, Bill? Your autoexec.bat. Right, anyway, where are we? So services, LF, service configuration status. So what's that one? LFSVC. LFSVC. What do you reckon that is? What do you reckon that service is? Have a quick look. Assuming it begins with an L. LF. Nope. 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 It doesn't begin with an L. Maybe it's Microsoft something L. Nope. Maybe it's Windows something L. Nope. Don't recognize that service name. Anybody know what that one is? Where is it again? Lost it now. There we go. LFSVC. Should we go and have a look? I really want to know what this is. So, local machine, system, current control set, services. Yep. So something called LFSVC. 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 Here we go. What is this? RPC service. Crikey. It's a load of location stuff. Okay, so it's just basically reporting your location to things by the looks of it. So setting that all off. Okay, and it set maps updates off, which is good because we don't care about maps in Windows. Thank you. Remember tweaking config. No. Okay, all right, Bill. I have one question. Why are 5 exe processors and processors set to high? Do they need to be set to that? If they're set to high, I'd leave them. If they're Windows processors or they come with the installer, I'd probably just leave them alone. Is 7 milliseconds in X input test bad? Yes, I'm afraid you probably have an Xbox type controller, which has a locked motherboard, which can't typically come down below 7 milliseconds. If you want a controller that is under 1 millisecond, then you're going to need a Sony PlayStation based controller because you can overclock those. Yes, I have Xbox, PS4 and PS5. So the PS4 and the PS5, they're typically about 3 out of the box, but you can get them down to under 1 if you use HID USBF. But that has certain consequences. If you use the overclocking tool HID USBF, you have to disable secure boot in the BIOS, and also HID USBF isn't officially certified, so it breaks core isolation which you need for certain games apparently, like Valorant. So there's kind of a bit of a cascading effect there if you start overclocking. Right, anyway, where were we? I'm getting distracted. Blah, 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 blah. Activity stuff, sensor stuff. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that was the service, maps. Right, running script, tweaks 00. That's vague. Disk cleanup. Okay, so maybe that was to do with that. So we saw the disk cleanup run. We disabled IPv6. Yep. What else we got next? And then we've got tweaks, Tornado, tweaks, delete temp files, and then we start jumping on a load of services. So we're setting AJ router to disabled. Yeah, well, I mean that's you don't ever want that. I might take out my services one actually. I really might. I might take it out and just let this do it. If I just suggest people run this tool, CTT in my guide, and then I take out running a load of services, because I've got, I mean, these are the services I basically turn into, I set to manual. Instead of disabling, so like AJ router, ALG, so instead of disabling now, I actually just set them all to manual. So that if you want to print, like spooler, then you can still do it if you just kind of start the service. As opposed to hard disabling them. But this looks like it goes through the list as well. Hey Bemmy, how you doing? Thank you for the follow, or the sub. So this looks like it goes through the list as well. Phone service to manual. So I might take out my stuff, because yeah, that's an important one. That lets you then do memory compression, and it lets you do super fetching. So that's an important one. So I'm glad he's setting that to automatic and not just disabling. It's got spool alert for printing set to automatic, whereas I set that to manual. Okay. Time brokers. What about W search? Automatic delayed start. So that's Windows search, that one. And I set that to manual, but even at manual, then Windows then starts it, even at manual. So I typically, if I want to search for something, I typically then go into services and find the Windows search, and see even though I've got it set to manual, it's running there. And then I stop it, and then I set it to disable manually. That's what I normally do. Disabled. I don't need search. I don't need search on my computer. I know where everything is. I don't want it searching within, indexing within the contents of files all the time and running in the background. So I don't need search. So I turn it off. Okay, so okay, that's that one. What else we got going on? That's back to manual. What's he done with the Xbox game bar stuff? Manual. So set them all to manual, the Xbox stuff. But didn't we uninstall that anyway? I thought that was one of the things we uninstalled. Oh, well. Or was that earlier? Was that in a different tweet tool? What else we got? That's a lot of service manipulation he's doing. It's cool if it works, and then the tweaks are finished. All right, so should we reboot and just basically have a look? Also, why is that CPU going mental? Okay, it's not using 100% CPU anymore. Now we've stopped the tool. Wow. That tool was running 100% CPU. Look, it's now gone down to here. It's using an entire core up to run that tool. That's interesting. All right, so let's reboot. Let's reboot and have a look. So can you remember what we were on? We were on 1.34, well, 1.35 and 0.48. Somebody remember that. 1.35 and 0.48. And we were on about 80 processes, so 85. So let's reboot and have a look. Yeah, Raz, they're the rough estimation of background latency with nothing running. I might have undone some of my tweaks. You're right, absolutely. I'll have to probably go and have a look in a minute. But yeah, as we spotted, it did do that network throttling index and the system responsiveness. But I think did we put those back? I can't remember. No, I didn't say, did I? So I didn't even put them back. Right, so we got a nice. I really like this. Really like this. Well, open that, please. Why is that being slow? I don't know, downloads, right click. Oh, I love having that back. That's a really good thing. I like that. I love being able to do this straight away. So we want to do, yeah, we got the full menu. That's a huge relief. So what were we going to check? We are going to check, see what else is going on really. We were going to check, see what Task Manager looks like now. About the same. 85. So about the same. I want to see if the threads come down a bit, if I leave it a little bit, because what were we about 1300 on an idle system before. But it might be doing a few things while it's still starting up, so we'll let that settle a little bit. Let's have a look at latency mon, just as a guide to where the latency is going to be sitting now. So what did I say? 1.35 and 0.38. That's gone up. I think I need to reapply some of my tweaks again. I need to work out what that's just reset. Don't I? But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going. I think it's a starting point after you install Windows. It's not something you probably should run on a fully tweaked, well, not a mostly tweaked system, because that's a little higher than it was before. And okay, that's come down into the 1300 range. Okay, and the processors have come down to 81, so that's not too bad. But again, I've already run the FreeTime Tech tool already, so this is kind of on top of that one, which pretty much does the same thing. But yeah, if it saves, if CTT saves you a bit of time when you start a new Windows install and kind of debloats it a bit with a couple of clicks, then that's yeah, definitely a good thing. Definitely a good thing. Oh, we're down to 78 now. Look, ooh. 1200, that's not too bad. Remember, I'm not running a custom OS here. This is full fat Windows 11 Home 23H2. So this is not a custom OS. This is just debloating a very fat Windows 11 Home 23H2. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to switch from FreeTime Tech to the CTT one in my guide. I think I'm going to switch. I mean, if it simplifies it like that, then why not? Why not? And everyone seems to rate and rate Chris Titus, so it's got that authority about it. Which so then, if you have a problem with it, you go to him and not me. That's more important. And the only thing I like about CTT for people that I don't have Windows activated, so you can active dark theme. Okay. You can get dark theme without Windows activated. Also, you should Windows World when installing a fresh Windows. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that suggestion. So when you're setting up, when you're first doing a Windows 11 install, it gives you kind of lots of options. And if you set your local local location, instead of setting it to your country and time zone, just set it to world, and then it will basically skip all the telemetry stuff. It doesn't even bother. So yeah, that is a trick that you can use. Yeah, set your region to world as you're installing Windows, and then it doesn't actually install any of the telemetry because it doesn't know where you are, so it doesn't bother. Yeah, I've seen that trick before. I haven't actually used it myself because I want English keyboards and times and things like that. So I haven't set that one myself. But that's not looking too bad actually. I'll try this again one more time. See where we're at. If it's a bit lower. Okay, we've gone down. We've gone down 1.39, 1.47. Well, the DPC latency hasn't changed. Actually, if anything, that could be a bit lower. But we have lost like a little bit of process latency, maybe 0.05. Right, shall I reapply some of my tweaks again? I'll reapply my stuff. And then reboot, just to see if it puts it over the top. So always create a restore point. Always do that. This is the Alex version. Pre-pack 66. I think I did one earlier, so I'm going to do a -2. I'll have to go and check it hasn't reset anything else. Restore point was successfully created. Well, you know what I wanted to do? It created the Windows Ultimate power plan. I wanted to make sure it didn't create 2 because I already had it. Okay, it's still there. Still there. That's fine. So if I invoke performance mode in here, should jump to Ultimate. Okay, that's fine. So I normally run balanced on my desktop, and then I use processor Sue when it starts a game or a benchmark thing. I get it to induce performance mode, and then it automatically switches to Bitsum or Ultimate or a non-saving energy one. Anyway, right. So I'm going to run all of these, my ones. Done. I'm not going to do the services anymore. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it alone, just in case it changed. Oh, let's have a look. See if it changed anything with BCD edit. I don't think it did, but let's double check. BCD edit. Go and find my C drive because I've got multiple boots on here. There we go, C drive. What's new, Pussycat? Opt-in, that's fine, that's default. That's enabled, that's fine. MSI default. Do I normally do MSI enabled? Don't I do that? Oh, no. What have I just done? What did I just do accidentally? Add to favorites. I think I just added to favorites. Oops. Right, so I normally do MSI mode default. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That policy enabled, config access default. Yep, that's fine. MSI default. Yep, that's fine. Use physical destination, no. That's fine. I just want to see whether the CTT tool overwrote anything I normally do for BCD edits. Use firmware PCI settings. No, that's fine. Delete use platform clock. Yeah, I don't see that one anywhere. Good. Delete value use platform tick. Yeah, get rid of that one as well because I don't want HPET running. And then set disable dynamic tick on yes. Yep, that's fine. TSC sync policy. Enhance, that's good. NX opt-in, fine. Current boot UX disabled. Yep, that's fine. Quiet boot, yes. Hypervisor launch type off. That should be the last one. Okay, so that CTT script is not touching any of my BCD edit stuff. Good. Is it touching anything in Agent? True, false, 4096, true, true, false. That's correct. It's not doing anything in there either. Good, good, good. So my scripts should be fine. Run as administrator, run as administrator. I still don't know why it's giving those errors. Is there a way to get bits on Power Plan without processor SU? You can, I think you can get it through, well, I mean, what you could do is you could install processor SU free, and then in here, you can go options, power, bitsum highest performance, and then install. There should be the install option, and then you can uninstall processor SU. If you don't want to run processor SU free, which is really good, by the way, processor SU free, pretty much does everything Pro does, other than being able to disallow various processes, like the game bar presence writer. But it pretty much does everything else. So there's no reason not to run processor SU free these days. It's free. It's really good. What else have I got a question? You learned something? No way. Agent. We ran that one already, didn't we? Yep. Oh, we run that one already. I just forgot. Getting distracted by chat. Okay, and then once you've done those 1, 2, 3, 4s, you can do like the optional mouse tweak one, which I don't need on this PC because I'm running controller. And I put an undo one in there to do the opposite of that one. So that undo mouse tweaks one puts all the mouse tweaks things to Windows 11 defaults. So basically checked my clean Windows 11 registry and basically set everything back to exactly what it was before you run that one. And then you choose the Win32 process separation. So I run performance mode. Done, and then restart. So let's restart again. And I did put a shortcut in here to restart too, and it'll auto restart now. Processor SU is another program that runs in the background. Well, if it's helping with, I'll tell you in a second. Sorry, I had an anchovy sauce pasta for lunch, and it's made me very, very thirsty now. All the saltiness from the anchovies. Yeah, so if processor SU is basically stopping naughty processes in the background affecting your responsiveness, then it's doing a lot more good than it is harm. A lot more good than it is harm. So that's why I like processor SU. And plus you can set the timer resolution. Look, set timer resolution. Automatically does it for you. So you don't need to then run ISLC. See, if you didn't run this, then you'd have to run another app in the background, ISLC, where you could specify exactly what your timer resolution is. Swings and roundabouts. Right, where are we at? Close that for a sec. Task manager me. Let's wait till that gets down to about 1300 again, and then we'll have another look at another look at latency mom. Could be that system responsiveness stuff as well. So we'll have a look at that too. Let's let this settle a little bit. You don't even want NVIDIA GeForce running in the background. Well, I don't like the Experience Center running in the background, so yeah, I agree with you on that half. But yeah, I use NB Cleanstall. I strip the drivers down, and I only use the driver, not the Experience Center, on this environment. Did you test the CTTs with balanced or ultimate power plan in latency one? So it's been ultimate before and after. I never test latency with balance running. That's not a good idea. So we tested Bitsum versus Ultimate the other day, and Ultimate gave a bit better latency when we were testing with the NVIDIA Latency Reflex Analyzer. So I've switched to Ultimate, and hold up, we're down to 1200 now. Look, 1200 threads. I've switched to Ultimate. It's the short answer to that one. Use DDU when upgrading drivers. See, I find just a clean install is DDU is kind of overkill. I sometimes use DDU, but I just find it complete overkill. MV Cleanstalls useful for if you want to automate setting MSI mode and the processor affinities, which I do. That way you don't have to go and do those extra steps afterwards because it's part of the install process. Plus, it then can create like a package install with the whole driver. So you can basically, I can now really quickly go back to a previous version because I've already compiled the stripped down driver. So it's really easy for me to switch back to an old one. So I like NB Cleanstall. It just saves me a lot of time. Saves me a lot of time. Right, 78 processes, 1,241 threads. Let's have a look at Latency Mom. See where we're at. 1.39-ish, 1.38. I think my DPC latency's come down a little bit. It was 1.48, 1.49. I mean, again, Latency Mon is not crazy accurate, but it is a good guide to see roughly whether your latency is improving or not. Also, I only typically run Latency Mon straight after a reboot, so it's kind of a consistent test. If you're starting to run Latency Mon after you've run a load of games and done a load of stuff, it's going to have worse results. But by rebooting, waiting a minute or so and running Latency Mon, it's actually quite consistent. So again, it's not a particularly accurate tool, but it gives you a general sense of how much latency is running in the background and how much latency your drivers hardware are making. So it's a good rough tool to use. If you want really accurate latency tests, then I'm afraid you're going to have to buy an LDAT with a high-speed camera and a special mouse, or you're going to have to buy a 360Hz monitor, plus monitor, with NVIDIA Reflex Latency Analyzer chip built into it, if you want accurate end-to-end latency testing. Have you tried CSGO Automate Benchmark by Amit? No, CSGO. So what does that do? What does the CSGO thing? Because I don't play CSGO, David, so I don't know. What does that do? Tell me about it. With 6 cores, would you set process affinities? In Project Lesso, would you set the game to certain process affinities or high priorities? So, Osama, so 6 cores, probably not. So the trouble is with Fortnite, I don't know whether it's with the other games as well, Fortnite basically alternates between using Easy Anti-Cheat and Battle Eye. It kind of flip-flops between the two randomly. Well, not randomly, I think it's based on your system date or something. And Battle Eye will let you manipulate the Fortnite process to like change normal to high process, high priority and things like that. But easy anti-cheat won't let you change anything at all. So depends on which one. So at the moment, I don't bother doing anything with the game file because easy anti-cheat most of the time will just block it happening, and I don't really want it flip-flopping between different settings. So other games, I'm not sure, but if you're running easy anti-cheat in that other game, then that's going to be blocking you doing stuff with the process, setting affinities or anything in processor C. I mean, I think you can hard code it in the registry, but I don't really want to go near that, to be honest. Are you running in safe mode or not? Possible automatic updates. Sorry, are you talking about, yeah, you've got to run safe mode, don't you, with DDU? You have to run safe mode Windows. Yeah. Thank you, I worded that horribly. Is it better version of auto affinity? Oh, yeah, okay. So auto GPU affinity. So let me show you what I do to work out which one is the best cores to run things on. So you can see at the moment, so you basically want to move your CPU, your GPU and your USB controller that is above your keyboard and mouse and input devices. You want to move them away from CPU 0, because by default, pretty much Windows and everything uses CPU 0 and it just gets really bottlenecked. So what I do is I move my GPU to CPU 2, typically the third core, and I move my input device to CPU 4, like the fifth core. So if I move my mouse a lot, you'll get like these numbers will go up, see, like 421, 527. So my mouse and keyboard and controller is running on CPU 4, and my GPU is running on CPU 2. That frees up CPU 0 from being a bottleneck, and it has the effect spreading the load out and then effectively lowering the overall average latency. So that's a good thing. Anything you can do to move it away. There's not much point in moving other devices because those two are the main ones, the GPU and your input devices. So I wouldn't bother with other devices. So what Auto GPU Affinity is doing is it's looking for which one of these cores is the fastest to move your GPU to. Yeah? So that's what the Amit thing's doing, from my understanding. But I can do that from within processor SU. In the Pro version, there is a tool called Thread Racer. There we go, Thread Racer. And what you can do, I mean, I can't really do it properly now. I'll run the test, but I can't tell you what the fastest ones are, because in order to run this normally, you'd have to use the defaults for CPU affinities. And so effectively they're all on the first one, which is core 0. And then you'd run all the other ones to race them to see which ones of the rest is the fastest. But as I already have my GPU on 3, that's unfairly loaded. And as I have my input devices on 5, that's unfairly loaded. So this won't be representative when I run this in a sec. But so normally what you do is you leave everything on core 0, and then you just run the rest, and then you can start, and then it will race them. It will compare them, and you can see which one of these is the fastest. So in this case, stop the race. Core 0, core 2, 1, 2, 3. So core 3 in this case would be the fastest. So I'd set core 3 for my GPU. And then the next fastest in that list is this one here, which is 0, 1, 2. Core 2 would be the one I'd then set to my USB device. So that's how I'd work out which one to put it on. It's got a really handy Thread Racer tool in Processor SU. I don't know whether it's available in the free version, but I paid for the Pro one because I really like Processor SU. Lots and lots. What else should we check? What else could it have reset that I might still need to retweak? What else could it set? Should we have a quick look in my guide, and we'll zoom through my guide. Let's have a quick look. Oh, this was a pain getting below 8 megabytes yesterday. It really was. I had to strip out so many screenshots so I could upload it to the Discord, because the Discord has a limit of 8 megabytes that you can upload to. Anyway, okay, this is my guide. I try and make this guide basically just as a It's not really for really advanced PC tuners. It's for people that have just got their brand new PC with Windows 11 Home installed on it, and they want to make their games faster. That's what I wrote it for. That's the target audience. So if you want to have a completely stripped down Windows that doesn't run Defender, just kind of has all disabled services, then my stuff's probably not for you. This is just really to help make your gaming PC have lower latency and more FPS, and the little things you need to do to it to get it. And I kind of explain as I go along the way. So that's who I'm targeting at. I'm not selling scripts to make everything go faster. That's not what I'm doing. So as I say here, the fastest things you can do to get higher FPS and lower latency, upgrade your hardware. Number 2 on the list is BIOS optimizations. That will get you the best gains in latency and the best FPS boosts. Then overclocking your memory. And by the way, I include XMP as a basic BIOS optimization, not as an overclocking one, even though technically XMP is overclocking your memory. I bundle that into basic BIOS optimizations. So overclocking, I'd say, is going from XMP even higher. CPU overclocking, GPU overclocking, which doesn't do anything for Fortnite, by the way. And then cooling optimizations. People really neglect how hot their computers run and how big of an impact that has on latency and FPS. It has a massive impact. So anything you can do to cool down your computer is going to really help it. That includes turning up the fans in the BIOS and turning up the fans on your GPU with MSI Afterburner with a custom fan curve. That's free performance right there. You don't have to do anything. You just have to turn them up a bit, and then your temperatures come way down, and your game will be way better. And then lastly on the list is all the Windows tweak stuff. Very last on the list. Debloating, latest drivers, power plans, processor affinities, timer resolution, Windows settings. I mean, that's last on the list. Because as I've shown on the same PC with my tweaked environment, dual booted or a pure Windows 11, not done anything to it, not installed anything other than latency more than turned on the high performance power plan, they're not that far away. The vast majority of the improvement is the shared BIOS and the hardware. So tweakers will sell you scripts to do this. But the biggest improvements you'll make are this. Anyway, I digress. We're trying to find what else might have changed. So let's go through the list of what else it could have reset. It couldn't have reset anything in the BIOS. Scripts can't do that unless you're running a special tool to do that, which you probably aren't. Windows updates. I don't think I've got any Windows updates. Let's double check. So Windows updates, what I typically do is I pause them for a week, and you can click this a few times and pause it for a couple of weeks. So it then doesn't run at all while you're running games in the foreground. So you can pause for a week, and then you press it again, and then you can press it again, and look, that date keeps going up and up. So that's how I basically turn off Windows updates. So I'm still always on the latest. It's just that I don't want the updates running when I'm playing a game. So I click this for a few times. And then it's not going to even check for a month. So that's how I pause Windows updates. Latest drivers, it wouldn't have changed that. The CTT sort. So this is the section I think I'm going to replace with the CTT one. So I'm going to replace the FreeTime Tech, which is based on the CTT stuff anyway. So I might as well just use the CTT stuff. If it's more universally recognized, then I'd rather err on the side of caution and go with that one. Disable Copilot. Should we double check to see whether it's done anything with Copilot? Hang on, so taskbar. Copilot is not even listed. That's interesting. Wait, do I have to go somewhere after taskbar? Under the taskbar's items section, turn off Copilot toggle switch. Looks like it's off already. Looks like it's off already. Let's check the registry. Did I copy that? I can't remember if I copied that. Right, what are we looking for? We're looking for turn off Windows Copilot. Turn off Windows Copilot 1 VS. Okay, so the CTT tool didn't mess with that. That's good. Device Manager, I don't think it would have touched anything in that. Windows tweaks, we reran, didn't we? We reran those. But I skipped the services one. So I'm really tempted to skip that services one. Let the CTT stuff just do what it suggests. Because it is a bit more trouble than it's worth. I know you can strip down Windows even more and just take off everything for gaming, but I've then had people complaining to me that they can't print, they can't log into Windows biometrics with Windows Hello, they can't do something else, or they got weird screen things going on. So I'd rather leave it alone if I can leave it alone, if that makes sense. Oh, nice tune. You've tuned it to 8000 DDR5. Really nice. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Please share that on my Discord server in the memory overclocking section. That'd be really cool to see. Yeah, please do that. How do I reactivate search bar next to the Windows sign? It got removed after using the... You don't need it. Okay, so you don't need it. That's one of the reasons why you remove it. So if you want to search now, all you have to do is click on start and then start typing. That's all you have to do. Then you got your search. It's completely unnecessary, that search bar. So as I say, all you need to do is either click on here or press the Windows key and just start typing. So you don't need it to X. It's just taking up space on the taskbar. Right, next. We did that. I just want to make sure everything's right. Mouse stuff. It disabled enhanced pointer precision, didn't it, as part of the CTT tool? Mouse settings, additional mouse settings, pointer options. So sixth one you want, and disable enhanced pointer precision. Okay, cool. Hasn't done anything with that. Process separation, we reran the Fortnite script for that one, didn't we? These are all the different numbers you can use. In my default script, the first one, the basic gaming tweak script, this one, number one, basic gaming tweak, I actually set it to the number that's associated with programs, 38. So I just set it to programs by default. If you then want to take it further than that, you can mess around with it. But basically, all I'm doing in my default one is setting it to programs. That's all I'm doing in my default script. If you then run one of the Win32 separation scripts afterwards, these two, it will kind of either take it more this way or take it more this way on the scale. But by default, that gaming tweaks one just sets it to default programs, which should, in theory, be the best one for most games, in theory. But we all saw what happened in theory the other day when I benchmarked these Win32 process separation, priority separation things. We were very surprised that it was in the opposite way for performance mode. Anyway, split threshold we checked, I think. And uninstalling any apps you don't need. Let's just have a look. See, I run IOBit uninstaller because it's quite good at stripping out Windows apps. I don't know how much of this can I fit on the screen without my head getting in the way. I need to make it a bit smaller so you guys can see it easier. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah, so programs. What else have I got on here? Anything else I don't need? Do I need anything else taken off? I don't think so. So yeah, these are Windows apps. So it's quite good for taking out Windows apps that you don't want. Cinebench, control panel, on-screen ruler. I don't need an on-screen ruler, thank you. I'm good on that one. I don't know why that's even there. Take that one away. Creating a restore point first. And then taking it out. The good thing about iBit Installer is it will take it out and then it will check the registry for leftovers and clean it up as well. Camera, media, feedback. I would take that out, but I swear that's related to something else that I need, and I can't remember what it is, so I'd rather just leave it. Microsoft People I don't need. Why have I got that? Sound recorder, snipping tool, sorry. Everything else is fine. Let's take out the people. Let's get rid of the people. Nearly gone. Bye bye, people. Okay, cool. Probably should get rid of these two as well. I don't know why. They're only for when I need them on the other environment, my test environment, when I'm running reflex latency analyzer, but otherwise I don't actually need them. It's probably just bloatware. It's like command centers. Command centers are never really good. It's bloatware. Interestingly enough, I ran some tests late last night with my test environment with NVIDIA Reflex Latency Analyzer, and I wanted to double check that my mouse was running at the right polling rate, because I still can't work out why I'm getting like 1 millisecond more than I normally do. So I installed Razer Synapse because I've got a Razer mouse that I do the testing on. So I installed Razer Synapse so I can check the polling rate and make sure everything's right. And it was sitting on 1,000 polling rate. So I thought, right, okay, let's just leave Synapse running in the background and test again. So I left it running in the background and everything was then at 1 millisecond worse. And you could see in the bottom left-hand corner where you have the NVIDIA stats, where it has average PC latency, that went all up by 1 millisecond as well. So if you're running like a Razer Cortex or Razer Synapse in the background, I recommend stopping them or uninstalling them, because they are adding latency to your system. So that was just a random thing I found last night. Yeah. So my latency, late last night when I was testing, my latency went up a whole millisecond from running Razer Synapse bloatware. Yeah, I know some of you keep asking me that, but I don't know because I can't test it. Look, I don't know because I can't test it. Look, I'll show you. Look, I can't change that. I can't do it. I can't change it. If I had 10 there, I'd test it for you and I could tell you, but I can't. So hopefully on my next computer I can. Yeah, must have missed it. Right, so we've done that bit. Okay, what else are we running? We're speed running the install guide here. Xbox Game Bar. Off, good. Just trying to see what the CTT tool might have turned back on again, or disabled, or changed, or game mode. Game mode on. It's better with that. You get more FPS in Fortnite, at least I do. HAGs, Fortnite High Performance is still there, and these two are both on. So MPO for that one. And you need HAGs, hardware accelerated graphic scheduling. You need that for Reflex to work properly. Hey Elite. I'm just running a debloat tool on Windows and testing it to see what it's done. So if it's better than the one I was using before, then I'm going to swap to it. So we've run it, and I'm just seeing now if it's changed anything, or just going through my guide basically just to see if any of the tweaks have been reset. So I'm just zooming through the latest version of my guide. Background apps you can't turn off in Windows 11, so don't even look for that menu. Notifications. On or off. See why? Yeah, okay. Worth checking that then. Bye bye. No more notifications. I don't want notifications on, thank you. Especially while I'm gaming. No notifications. All off. Go away. Don't want them. Right, good. So that after the CTT, do that one. You need to fix that. Wait, is there another notifications? Notifications and actions. I forget about that. There we go. Notifications and actions. Okay, it's off already. Wait, what's what? It's the same thing, isn't it? Same thing. That's what I just did a minute ago. Oh, I don't know. Maybe Microsoft move things around. Visual settings. Let's just double check those. You can either do adjust here, or you can do performance. It usually finds it. So what we got? Okay, so it's turned off using drop shadows for icon labels on the desktop. I quite like that. It's only doing it on the desktop, so if you're gaming, it doesn't make any difference because you're not looking at the desktop. That's fine. Background set, that's because we've set that already, and that's on default. That's fine. All right. So okay, we've done that one. That's good. Good. Power options. Would it have reset any of the power option things? Might have reset power options. Let's go and have a look. I've got my power plan Explorer settings then. Oh, I love being able to get straight to this from here. That's a great CTT thing. I love that. It's giving me so many headaches, that thing, Windows 11. What are we looking for? We are looking for... We're not going to disable that because that doesn't work for my computer. We are looking for... Scaling... Threshold... Wait, what are we looking at? Maximum states. What are these? What are these that's unticked? No, it's not one of these that's not unticked. Where is it? Time check interval. Here we go. Yeah, it's reset it. So typically, no, it hasn't. Ultimate performance 5,000. Okay, so it hasn't reset it. It's kept the 5,000. There are some other suggestions in my guide that you can try out, which I don't use, but because I'm fixing my gigahertz of my CPU in the BIOS, it doesn't really make much difference to me. Processor disable. So yeah, you can disable idle processor idle disable. You can run that, but that will make your CPU then go to 100% constantly, and it will make it a bit hotter, but it will drop the DPC latency. And then some other things you can check in here. You can try these to see if they make your performance a bit better or not. What's your opinion of it so far? No, as I say, I think it looks good so far, the CTT tool. If you go on my Discord, there's a video made by Chris Titus of how to actually run it and use it. If you go in here, hang on, go over here, and then PC tuning chat and go up a bit. Where are you? Should be a video. Oh, you guys have been posting a lot. I need to get back to my Discord. This one, Chris Titus Tech, the best Windows utility, and he shows you how to shows you how to use it. So yeah, good so far. Stop Chrome and Edge running in the background. Let's double check this. Settings. Is there a system or is it performance? Yeah, you always need to make sure it's not running in the background. I use Hags, but my GPU is pretty bored anyway while I'm gaming, so that's fine. Sorry, not Hags, just hardware acceleration. voiceover speed up. Okay, that's so it hasn't done anything in that. Oh, come on. Open my guide up again because I closed the browser. What page did we get up to? I think we got up to, there we go, timer resolution. Let's have a look at the timer resolution stuff. Right, pretty sure it hasn't touched that, but we have a look. I got to accidentally stop clicking on things. Just stop. All right. In my pack, there's a section on timer resolution where you can measure how long you measure. So it shows your timer resolution, and it then asks the system to sleep for 1 millisecond, and then it measures how long it actually slept for. So you want this as close to 1 millisecond as it possibly can get. If you're running Windows 10, I'm sorry to say you're going to be seeing 15 there. And the only way you're going to get that down is to switch to Windows 11 and then run all the other stuff. So that looks all good. My average is nice and low in the hundreds, not the thousands. That's good. So yeah, time resolution hasn't been touched by the CTT stuff. Good, good, good. That's my section on fine tuning it. Event logging. I don't know if I need to reset that. I found that, yeah, I found this was creating a load. Oh, look at that. Look at that resolution on that. It's awful. See what happens when I had to strip down my file size to post it on the Discord? Like, it's lost all that resolution. But I was getting a load of audit success things in my logs, like every 3 seconds. And obviously that's going to be using up CPU and disk and memory. So I basically turned off auditing. I reset the audit policy, and then it doesn't do it anymore. So that makes it a lot less going on. You might not have that. You might not have all those audit success things in your event viewer. But if you do, this is a way. I've never seen anyone else on the web, by the way, do this. No tweaker has ever checked this, but I had this problem for about a year. I finally figured out how to fix it. Just all these thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of events just going down and down, just saying audit success, audit success, audit success. So I eventually found a way myself of stopping it happening. So that reduced my latency by quite a bit actually when I did that. So I put that back in my guide because I thought it went away, that issue, but it's come back recently. So I've added it back again. Disabling Windows search, we covered that. So when I actually go and search for something now, it says, look, search indexing was turned off, turn it back on again. That's that service we turned off, the W service, W search. We did that one. Disk optimization, I think I've already done that ages ago. Basically turning off allow files. We got BIOS stuff. Obviously the CTT stuff didn't touch the BIOS recommendations because there's no way it could have done that. BIOS. Processor core parking, which you can use park control or processor SU for, which is a free version. So I'll talk about that a bit there. A bit of memory overclocking, very high level, very, very high level. How to check your memory speeds that you're currently running and whether you've got an XMP profile on your memory sticks that you can switch to or you haven't. Again, the CTT stuff wouldn't have touched that. BIOS stuff, more BIOS stuff. Okay, GPU optimizations. Would I have done anything in there? So let's go and have a look at the GPU stuff. I don't think it would have done anything in the GPU stuff. Graphics. No, actually, let's go back into my pack. I've got all the GPU stuff in here. All right, so I don't think it would have touched the NVIDIA control panel. Have I not spelled control panel right there? I've got the T and the R the wrong way around. Oops, I better change that. There we go. Late at night, or in a rush. Don't do either. Right, MSI mode. Let's just check everything's fine in that. So you can tick anything in MSI mode here that says MSI in this column. Anything that says MSI in that column, you can tick here. that nothing's changed there. And also set everything to undefined. Set it all to the same level. So if something say high, change it to undefined. Interrupt policy, we can actually check just to make sure that the interrupts, so I've got there's my GPU, it's on core 2, and there's my host controller for my input devices on core 4. As I said before, there's no point in trying to move all these other ones. It really doesn't make a difference to latency. Okay, sorry, I'll read some things back again. I used your Fortnite lag guide too. Cool, Raphael. I like the program scripts. Use it since Windows 10 from him. He updates tweaks as it rolling updates almost. I like the program scripts used since Windows. Oh, do you mean in the CTT tool? In the CTT tool. Yeah, and that's especially useful after resetting Windows. I think it's the best main one to use. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch my guide to recommending that. I'll put some steps in there, some more screenshots. It's just gonna make the size go up a bit, but I should be alright. Yeah, love it as soon as Windows installs. Very notable difference between Windows. Is very notable that difference between Windows 11 and Windows? And Windows? I don't know what you mean, ADR. Does it harm performance? Does what harm performance? Sorry, I've just covered a lot there. I realised that my timing's not great. That was actually a 4-minute ago question. 10 only for sleep time. Yeah, you need Windows 11 to fix the time sleep issue, I'm afraid. To make your clock accurate, you need Windows 11 for that one. All right, what we're doing, we got up to interrupts. Disable dynamic P states it shouldn't have touched, assuming that this is running at 1920 and not 1350. That's good. IRQs it shouldn't have done anything with. Let's double check the priorities haven't changed though. Oh my god, I love being able to do that. Going straight to what I want to edit or copy, reg, go into there. Right, okay, so there's my GPU on priority 1 and there's my USB on priority 2. You have to look up these IRQs to see which ones, what the actual IRQ number is for these. So you have to go into MSI info, then you have to go, let's make sure a bit smaller, system information, hardware resources, IRQs, and then you actually have to find your GPU and your controller, and you have to write down those numbers, and then you have to turn that into, with no spaces, into new values in here, and then you can kind of prioritize them a bit more. That's a good trick. So that all looks the same. I don't think CTT's touched any of that, which is good. What else we got? What else we got? Wouldn't have touched that. It wouldn't have touched the NVIDIA control panel. Oh, see, it's really gone blurry, some of these screenshots. I'm really sorry, guys. You can follow my video though for the GPU stuff. My YouTube video. It's gone really blurry. That's so annoying. I had to strip it down to 8 meg, as I said. Damn it. See, some of them are all right, and some of them have gone really blurry. Maybe if I just recreate them, it'll be all right. I don't know. We've done the MSI mode stuff. Covered that. Covered processor affinities. We done the thread racer thing. We did the checker. Disable P states, yeah, we just checked a minute ago. MSI afterburner custom fan curve. Very important, guys. Very important. Call your GPU properly. Very important. Alex, where do you get the file? How can I find it? Which file? Are you talking about the CTT debloater? Or are you talking about my stuff? Which one are you talking about? Should I worry about errors and warnings in Event Viewer, by the way? After a reboot, typically not. I mean, if you've got, I get quite a few warnings and I probably get 1 or 2 errors, but they're for things I've tried to look up before and can't even use Google AI to work out what they are. So, and I also get the same ones in the clean Windows install. So, as long as they're not lots of errors and warnings in the Event Viewer, then you're fine. Yes, on screen now. This, my PDF, you get it from my Discord. You just jump on my Discord and you go into the PC tuning guide section and just download the PDF. That one. All free. I make no money out of this at all. I do it for fun. Right. Right, full screen exclusive mode. Yeah, it monkeyed with something with full screen exclusive mode, didn't it? Should we see if it's still working? And FSE is still, full screen optimizations are still working. I am worried. Look. So this is the script I have for disabling full screen optimizations. And see those game DVR ones? So it's not in my pack, it's only in my guides that you copy and paste from. So it's not, this is not one in my pack. I don't think. It might be in a miscellaneous directory, but look, I'm pretty sure that when we run the CTT script, it did these game DVR ones. So I'm a little worried about that. It's disabled FSO, because FSO is really good now. And I don't know how to re-enable FSO. I suppose I could go to my default Windows environment and check out what the registry keys are. No, I didn't like that. Why didn't I like that? Why didn't I like that? H key local machine. There we go. It did like that. Just didn't copy paste it properly. Game DVR enabled. 0. FSE behavior mode. 2. FSE behavior. 2. On a user FSE behavior mode. 1. So that CTT script has disabled, or has it disabled it, or is it just basically saying honor it when you disable it? Maybe that's what it's doing. I'm going to have to go and test latency with it to know for sure whether FSO is working or not. A little bit worried about that. And there wasn't an option there to turn that off either. Networking optimizations. So as I said, should we go back to see what happens with that's DNS optimization, auto tuning. I might rerun my thingy script again, but I think what I want to do is I want to rerun, where are we? This one. So network throttling index, remember that? And system responsiveness, it was setting these both to basically 0 and off. And I got weird behavior in game when this was 0 off. So I set them to 10 and 10, 10% and 10%. Should we, what's my latency right now? What's that? was my latency? Well, that got a bit high, didn't it? Stop it, please. God, something was running heavy in the background there. Wow. I think I'm going to run my optimization script for network as well. I'm going to run this one. Just in case the Chris Titus one did anything with that. I'm also going to have a look in here to see if it's done anything weird. IPv6, oh no, it's there. I was going to say it's gone, but it's not gone. It's just a little lower. Configure. Power management should be off. Right, what else we got in here? Flow control, that's fine, that's fine. Checksums off. Rate queues, that's fine. Yeah, that's all fine. So let's restart. Have a drink. Right, we're back again. Get that little flash when it starts up from, if you in the NVIDIA control panel where you do this, set it to reference mode, you get like a double flash then. Hey John, or Raphael, which one of the two, or both. Double barreled names. Yeah, I was going to check that, wasn't I? I want to see what that's running at now. Network, TCP optimizer, run as administrator. That's so much quicker. Okay, so I'm back on 10 and 10. So that's basically undone what the CTT script did, which set that to 0 and off. Just want it to calm down a bit, and then I'm going to run a latency mod. It's only been up for a minute. So it runs good at your system after latency mod. Okay. Latency guide. Good. Glad to hear it. I try not to do anything too crazy. I try to just do basics that actually help. And I try to leave the kind of crazy, well, kind of not crazy, but more extreme tweaks alone. Anything that can affect stability, security or functionality of Windows, then I try to leave out and just try and improve the performance of Windows itself as it is, and it still be pretty solid. That's my aim. And why am I doing that? I know there's a lot of people out there that just want the fastest possible, lowest latency, highest FPS out there. If you want that and you want to strip down your Windows lots, then I'm probably not the guy for you. I like a more standard Windows 11 system. And I can still run Windows updates on. I can still update all my drivers on, and I know that it's going to get better over time, not worse. Let's have a look at latency mont. Just as a general guide, again, not particularly accurate, but just a general guide. Look, we're down to 1.36 there. Do you remember it was 1.4 a minute ago? Nearly just under 1.4. And that was before we reset the network stuff. Remember that? Well, I think that's gone down since we made those two numbers 10 and 10 as opposed to 0 and off. I think it's gone down. I do miss Linux. I used to run Linux on big kind of servers for big systems like multi-million-dollar server setups. I do miss Linux. I miss my Unix days. Don't really do that anymore. But that's not, those numbers aren't bad. 1.37 and 0.47. I mean, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So I've run the CTT stuff and I've run my guide, basically. And that's what we got it down to. I don't think there was, there's nothing much after the network stuff, is there? This can sometimes drop your latency a bit. If you do device cleanup, have you seen this tool before, guys? It's basically a list. You can do it through Driver Booster as well. It's basically a list of old listed devices that have at some point been connected to your computer but are not currently connected to your computer. And cleaning out the list can actually make your latency lower and make it faster. But what happens sometimes is, probably want to keep that in, otherwise I'm going to lose my overclock. Yeah, I probably want to keep that one in, otherwise I'm going to lose my overclock. Let me reconnect that. Refresh. There we go, just lost that one. Sometimes it's just got a newer version of it as well. I mean, why am I connecting to TVs? Okay, so there is one service to the CTT thing definitely needs to stop. And we'll go and fix that. Look, Alex's Fire TV, come on. So you select all, delete. That cleans out the old list of things that are not currently connected to your computer anymore. Right, services. There is a service in here that you definitely do need to disable, and it's called SDDP. So look, it's now on manual, but you want that disabled, because what that's constantly trying to do is that's trying to go on your network and discover new devices and connect to them. So SSDP discovery, right click, stop, disable. Get rid of that one. I think I'm going to add that to my guide as it's a bit like this search one. I think I'm going to specifically say definitely disable this, please, because it looks like even if you say it's a manual, it's going to start it. So don't want that one. Don't want it. No, thank you. That one's really annoying, and I only notice it's doing that. They're the Xbox ones. I only notice it's doing that from the cleanup tool, that device cleanup tool. Which is part of Driver Booster as well. Driver Booster has a version of that as well, but I've just shown you that the previous one was the free tool version. So yeah, it has a tool in here where clean invalid devices. Does exactly the same as that previous tool did. It's really useful for kind of cleaning out stuff because you can't find anything now because we just cleaned it all out. What's that? Yeah, I disable that, so that's why it's throwing an error, so I can ignore that one. But yeah, up-to-date drivers. No, I'm not even using that, it's disconnected. I don't need that at all. I don't need to connect to audio through my monitor, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think we've run everything. So I think I'm going to recommend this tool. So for those of you that weren't watching at the beginning of this video, a whole 2 hours ago now, we were testing out Chris Titus's tool, which if I go into my Discord, debloats Windows. So I think there are 3 things we've caught, no, maybe 4 things we've caught there. The network throttling index, the system responsiveness, which you need to reset manually after running that tool. which will occur if you run through my scripts anyway, which you'll fix anyway if you run through my scripts. And then those two services, the W search, the Windows search, and the SSDP. I think they're the two things that you need to do after the debloat tool to get your system running healthy. You had that service disabled already. Good. Good. I used to play Minecraft in Windows. I was getting 560 FPS, and after I switched to Linux, I'm getting 900 to 1000. I use Linux Mint. Yeah, I mean, Linux is cool. Most people, which is what I'm targeting this as, will buy a new PC, and then they'll get Windows Home that comes with it, and then they'll say, what do I do now? And the answer typically won't be reinstall Linux. Because they won't be able, most people won't be able to use Linux. But yeah, it's definitely a lot less running in the background, isn't it? What was I doing? Yeah, so I was showing you what we were doing at the beginning of this video. For those of you that weren't here at the start, we were running through this video here. So
let me show you a tool that has evolved over the past 3 years. Okay. If you've never run the utility, all you're doing is on the bottom right hand here, clicking your start menu, terminal with admin, and we're just going to do IRM, christitus.com/win, and piping IEX.
Right, so that's basically all you need to do to run the tool. So you press your Windows key, you right click, you do terminal admin, and then you type in IRM christitus.com/win, pipe it, vertical line, IEX. And that will pop up, that will go on the internet and grab the tool and run it, like that. And then all you do is you go into the tweak section, you click on desktop, and then you add these extra ones in here and a couple of extra ones I had before, which I now can't remember off the top of my head, and a couple of those. So for my guide, I'm going to walk you through those steps that we just did. And then I'll put it in version 67 of my next guide, okay? So that's all we've done. And we run tweaks and we create restore points. And you didn't have to do any of these other things, I don't think. What's this? Config. I didn't even look at this. If there's anything decent in it. Windows subsystem for Linux. Oh, look at that. Windows subsystems for Linux in an optional feature of Windows that allows Linux programs to run natively on Windows. Okay. So you're still running on Windows, that's the problem. That's still the bloated bit. There's sandbox. I normally disable sandbox. Okay, so I think you can leave those alone. And just some extra tools that you can run. He said, don't run this one, the security recommended settings, unless you are running Windows Pro, I think he said. So don't bother with that. Most people aren't running Pro. They're running Home Edition. And MicroWin was a way of just creating Windows operating system images, whole images, and saving them onto an image, and then you can debloat it. That's what MicroWin was. And then this first tab was just basically if you wanted to install some extra apps without just going to find them on the web like a normal person would. So it was mostly just this tweaks bit that we did. So that's all we had to do. We just had to run that command and it automatically, you didn't have to go and do anything else. It went and got it from the web. Yeah, it's for custom ISOs. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll document those steps that we did and I'll put them in the next version of the document and I'll upload that in a week or so or something. I don't really want to do a whole new guide the next day after I've already done one. So they will go in the next one though. But that's interesting. It's really interesting. I need to go through all of this at some point because it looks like my Discord has gone crazy. Whilst I'm online, typical. Why don't you guys just ask me here? That would be much more sensible. Anything else? What have we forgotten? Why are we going to test something else? I've forgotten now. We were going to test the debloat. Oh yeah, there was a policy script for lowering your ping that one of the guys suggested. There was a policy thing, wasn't there? Chaos was suggesting editing your... Where is it? Editing your policy-based QoS stuff for the fortnight lowest ping. I think that's just throttling stuff. I don't know. My ping's 0 anyway. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to test that. I think I might test that offline, to be honest, because in order to do anything in Policy Editor, Windows Home Edition doesn't come with Policy Editor, so you can't like do group. Is it GRP or policy? Is it GP policy or GRP policy? Can't remember. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've used it because it's Home Edition. But you can normally go to a Policy Editor, a Windows one, and then. But I think if you're on Home Edition, you actually have to install it as an extra Windows feature before you can use it. So I'd have to set all that up first, which is a bit of a pain. Is it worth me jumping into my test environment, running that CTT tool there, rerunning all my scripts, and then seeing what my latency is like? You want to see that? Anyone want to see that? Yeah, GP edit. That's the one. Thank you very much. Been a few years. Yes, we do. Okay. All right. Just noticed that my fan under my laptop's not running. All because it wasn't plugged into any power. Come on, plug into power, please. Which means my laptop's not going to be doing very well, which means my stream might look rubbish. So sorry about that. I didn't have the fan on under my laptop. Right, so I've just plugged in the cables. I need to plug in the cable to the monitor for the end-to-end monitor measuring of latency. So this is my test environment, yeah. And on here, I just have Windows Defender on this. I don't have that antivirus I uninstalled earlier, the Norton one. It's not even on here. And my starting processes and latency are as follows. 98 seems a bit high, doesn't it? 99? That does seem a bit high. What am I running? I'm not really running anything. Why is that so high? Maybe I just haven't debloated this environment ever. So this will be interesting then. Let's take off that overlay for now, because we've got to run through all the debloat stuff first, don't we? Okay, we've taken off the overlay stuff now. So this is my test environment. This is where I test latency, basically. So I've got the full NVIDIA driver and the experience center. So I could have this performance overlay on here, and you guys can see the numbers, not just me on my physical monitor. So that's why I have to install the experience center as well. Set that off for now. But we'll rerun the Chris Titus thing, and then we'll rerun my scripts and packs and stuff. And let's see what the latency is right now on this environment. Excuse me. That's like 1.4-ish, 1.39, 1.47. So pretty low already, to be honest. Pretty low already. pretty much lower than my gaming environment. Maybe should be switching to this one. Wow, even with the NVIDIA experience process bloatware is running, it's... Oh, okay. Time to jump ship. I still don't know why 94 processors are, but we'll see if we can get that down a bit, shall we? Right, I've got to remember the command now. Let me open it up on Discord on my other PC, and then I can just... where is it? I need to write this down. I think the best thing for me to do right now is just write it down.
A tool that has evolved over the past, which if you've never run the utility, all you're doing is on the bottom right hand here, clicking your start menu, and we're just going to do IRM EX, just like you see on the screen. This
keep missing it. There we go. I think I'm just going to write this down. Let's whack it in my D drive, documents, pack 66. Let's just whack it in here. New text document. So CTT. Yeah. .cmd. Yep. Excuse me. See, this is the thing that I hate, right? So I hate this menu system, and then you have to go show more options to get to this. And one of the things CTT is doing is it's letting you go straight to this, which I love. So edit notepad. Excuse me. So IRM christitus.com/win pipe it to EX. Excuse me. So that's all we're running right now. So if we run that as administrator, hopefully it'll work. Well, it might not work. Maybe you have to actually... no, it didn't work. You have to keep it running. Okay. Copy paste. Let's do the copy paste. Here we go. Maybe I should have created a restore point first. I did quite a lot there. It's installing package managers and things. All right, so we got it up. So I've got to remember now what we did last time. Tweaks. We did desktop, we did all of those, I remember. And then set display to this performance, time to UAC, to UCC, oh, okay, we'll just do that, I don't care. In this test environment. Disable that one, we did disable notifications, yeah. We didn't do those two because it said not to. I don't think I've got OneDrive running already. Anyway, select classic right-click menu, that's my favorite thing of this. In there, disable IPv6. Once we did, and then we did dark theme. We don't want Bing search. We want number lock on. Verbose logon messages disable. We want show file extensions. Snap assist flyout. Snap assist flyout. If you know, maximum button is hovered. Maximized. Kind of want that. Oh, that's live. Interesting. Mouse acceleration disable, sticky keys. We don't want sticky keys. I think that does bad performance, doesn't it? Sticky keys, but some people needs them. All right, I seem to recall. Let's get back to chat just in case I'm doing anything wrong and you can scream at me. There's an option to create the shortcut for CTT. Is there? I think I did see that. Yeah, I think you're right. Where was it? Is it in this section? Run tweaks, no. Install, no. Config. Where was it? Do you remember where it was? Is it that one? Create, that's WinUtil. Is that what this is? WinUtil shortcut? Just stick it in the D drive. Documents 66. 66 please. Windows. Okay, we'll stick it there. Have we got a debloat bit? No, we'll just stick it here. Okay, there you go, there's the link. Thank you. What have we got? Anything else there? Add and activate ultimate performance. Yeah, that's that one. Okay. Is that, I think that's everything. Run tweaks and do tweaks. Okay, let's get a screenshot, alt print screen. I'm going to paste that into Paint and we'll save it on my D drive as well so I can put it in my document later. Okay, crop it. Save as PNG, D drive, CTT1. Okay, I've got a screenshot of that. Anything else? We just run tweaks now, don't we? I think that's all of them. Run tweaks. And it should run it in the background there. Don't forget to do the restore point. Yeah, creating one there, but you're right. I should have done one right at the very beginning, really. But as we've already run this on my main gaming environment, I'm less worried about doing it on the test environment. So, Zyro says, when I disable hyperthreading, right? What does it say? Why doesn't my CPU reach its boost speed? When you disable hyperthreading, okay, so you're only running cores. Why doesn't my CPU reach its boost speed? Don't know. Maybe it's thermal throttling. Maybe that's an effect of disabling hyperthreading. Should still do. The P cores should still get up to its top level. Normally the power plan that determines what it's doing though. So you might want to have a look in your power plan. Have I missed anything else out? Video quality is low. You can do it at 1080p at least. Best movie clips. Are you talking about my stream? Yeah, sadly I'm streaming right now, right? From a work laptop with no GPU in it. So I'm streaming with no GPU. And I'm doing it all from the integrated graphics of my iGPU. So the Intel i5 processor is doing it. So I'd love to be able to stream at 1080p, but unfortunately 720 with the current settings is about as good as I can get on this laptop. As soon as I get my new computer in about 1 or 2 months, my gaming PC will become my streaming PC, and then you'll get amazing streams. You'll get crazy good clarity. So hang tight if you can. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It annoys me too that it's not the best quality. Bill's happy because he can watch it. He can watch 50 streamers at the same time and not use up too much bandwidth with me at 1080p. But everybody else, not so much. If my CPU fan isn't connected to the correct slot on the motherboard, is that a problem for overclocking? Is it not working at all, your CPU fan? Won't be an issue once you get your 1 gigabit a second fiber tomorrow. Awesome, Bill. Okay, that's fine. What's that money thing? What's that? That's new. What's that nonsense? What? I'm sorry. Hello. What's this money thing? I don't want that. No, thank you. Widgets off. Okay, that's gone. Good. Where'd that come from? No, 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 no. We don't like. Then I need to rerun my scripts again. That's 65. I need to go 66. Windows, tweaks. Right, run all these quick. Run as administrator. Done. I'm not going to do the services one. Let's skip that one. That's going to be disappearing, I think, in my next release. services one. I'm just going to let CTT do the services, apart from those two that we're going to manually do in a minute. Boom, 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 boom. My CPU doesn't have P cores, and I have Turbo Boost 2.0. When I disable hyperthreading, it's stuck at 2.9 instead of being 3.9. Same goes for when I disable BStep. That's weird. So I wouldn't mess it. What CPU is it, Zyro? May I ask? I tell you, I bought a 15-meter cable cat. Oh, awesome! Running from the lounge to the dining room. Ping initially went from 25 to 15, but it's quite variable depending on when I test it. That's awesome, Bill. It's an i5, so it's a 10th gen. Okay, so you don't have E-cores under 12th gen. Yeah, I'd probably not turn off hyperthreading, to be honest, with that CPU anyway. I think your CPU needs the extra lanes that hyperthreading provide to get more kind of traffic through. So I know it's better latency, but I think you need throughput. I think you need to prioritize throughput on that one, I'm afraid. Sorry, Zyro. Did I run the MA agent one already? Mouse tweaks one I want to run. And performance mode. Oh, performance mode I want to run. Done. Right, we're going to stop those other two services that I mentioned. Which was the W search down the bottom. Windows search. Okay, that's already disabled. Fine. And the other one was the SSDP that I think got reset back to manual. You need to stop that. That's naughty service. You don't want that service. Disabled. Apply. So they're the two ones that I'm going to manually say in my guide to go and stop afterwards. And then the network one. We forgot the network one. Forgot the network one. Network. Where that one? Yeah, I agree with Cry. Sunday, what does Sunday say? Oh, okay, my phone isn't connected to the correct slot. It's a problem for overclocking. Working, but wondering if that matters. If as long as it's working, should be fine. Sunday. Right, are we done? I think we're done. Restart. Okay, we're back in the room. And you're back in the room. Another question. When you set your GPU to a 4, I don't have the PCIe thing. It's only under display for me. Yeah, don't worry about that one. Don't worry about that one. It really doesn't make much difference, that one. I'm thinking of taking that out as well. The two that are important are your GPU and that USB controller. They're the two that are important. I mean, I played around with setting the PCIe controller for the GPU before and setting it to the same one as the GPU. And I'll be damned if I can see a difference in the latency. So, right, so let's have a look. Where are we? Task Manager. Performance. Where were we before? We're about 96 or 97, 98 before, weren't we? Leaves this running for a little bit. See if it comes down. The other computer, if you remember, was about 1,300 threads and about 80. 80? Going up a little bit again. See what it's doing in the background. Was there anything else we had to double check? Now I have something there. So yeah, I'm still running it with SMT, hyper-threading equivalent, because it's doing its job excellent. Okay. Cry, I don't know if you saw on my Discord, one of the guys has been playing with an AMD X3D CPU. I think two of them have actually. And they found a really good BIOS tweaking video, not by me, that apparently dropped their latency quite a bit. And I think they turned off SMT to do it. So it might be worth checking that out if you haven't already. I think Sambo detailed it earlier. I think it was Sambo. How are we doing? We've still got more threads and processes than we were running on the other one. Index is off. Bear in mind we are running the Experience Center, aren't we, as well? So it is going to be running more processes, because look at all these NVIDIA things, shares, shadow plays. So it is going to be running more spoolers running for some reason. Don't really want printing. I'm good. I don't need printing, thank you. I think that's bad to jump to the list on the list as well. Spooler, where are you, Spooler? Is it Windows Spooler? No, it's just say Spooler. Or is it just print and it's called print spooler? There we go. See, automatic. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, spooler. There we go. We're going to stop it. I do not need to print. Apply. Okay, so 3 services we should manually do after that. Probably more, but they're the ones that have already jumped out at me. See what's running. Should we sort by what's running? If there's anything else that jumps out. BitLocker. Don't really need BitLocker. I have a drive encryption service, but I'm not encrypting anything. Might be required for login stuff though, and hello. Probably don't need that. Radio management service. Do I need radio management if I'm not using Wi-Fi? Don't think I do. Pretty sure I don't need that. Could be an internal error. I can even stop it. I'm just going to leave it. Wouldn't even stop. I'm not going to force it. Sysmain. Fine. There's audio stuff. Okay. Excuse me. You're up to 93 now. All right, should we test some latency? Swing a pickaxe. I also want to check full screen, exclusive mode, and optimization modes are working, because it might have monkeyed with those. Right. Do you have a guide on buffer bloat? Yeah, I've got a section in my guide on buffer bloat. Basically, buffer bloat is where you fully load your internet line, and then your ping goes really high because of it, or your upload and download ping. So to avoid that, you need a really fast gaming router, or just a good router, and that has like a more powerful CPU in it in the router, and that can handle kind of juggling the overheads of the when you max out your internet line. So you can kind of adjust your QoS settings or something so that you're not hitting 100% bandwidth from any one PC or all the PCs, or you can kind of do it across everything in your house. But if you think you're going to make your buffer bloat better from your PC, then when you run the speed test for the buffer bloat, what it's probably doing is it's not fully loading the line, and then it just improves the buffer bloat because you're not actually testing buffer bloat. So you get an A+, you pat yourself on the back, but then you realize, hang on a minute, I didn't actually just test buffer bloat because I didn't fully load my line. So it's you think you fixed it and you haven't. We're on the right skin. We have full screen exclusive mode working because I'm wiggling my volume up and down right now, and I'm not getting any overlays for the volume meter. So full screen exclusive is still working. Let's jump into, we're going to need to turn on that, and we're going to need to turn on in my monitor G-Sync processor and video reflex latency analyzer, turn it on. So we've got that on, I can see that in the top left. We've got the mouse plugged into the monitor plugged into the computer, so we can now measure end-to-end latency from when I click the mouse to when that little thing about halfway down there flashes from grey to white. Can you see that little box there? So that measures exactly how long that takes. So we can now test latency. Proper latency, not latency mon rough guess latency, or going up and down latency a lot. So what we have to do is we have to swing up, we have to press the mouse at least 50 times to get a decent stable average. So let's do that, and then I'll answer some more questions from Mike. Okay. Right. What are the settings we're running at the moment? Okay, so I think I optimized for performance mode, didn't I? Right, so let's reset the averages. So that very bottom number is now a dash because we've reset the averages. Right, let's do 50 pickaxe swings and see what we get. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Got some really low numbers there actually. I know well, the system average latency there is 8.7, the very bottom number there. So 8.7, that's pretty good. Compared to what I was testing last night, I was about 9.1. So the only difference we've done between now and then is the CTT tool, and then manually disable those extra couple of services. That's the only difference we've done. 8.7. See, I'm normally 8.3, and I don't know what happened in the last couple of weeks to get it back to up to like 9.3. So 8.7 is fine. But so something you guys can actually test here. So you can't test the latency of your mouse from that. So end-to-end latency is the input device plus the PC and then plus the monitor. So there's kind of three pieces, right? My mouse latency is 0.9. You can see that there. I'm pretty much 1,000 polling rate. So I'm getting 0.9 milliseconds input delay on the mouse. The monitor is what's being measured as well on top. But the thing in the middle, the average PC latency, you guys can measure. You guys can look at. So that's something you can actually look at yourselves without having to have an expensive monitor with the NVIDIA reflex latency analyzer built in. I think you can select the latency overlay without having to have the reflex latency overlay, which gives me the extra bits of the mouse and the monitor. So as I said last night, one of the things I had on was I had the Razer Synapse app running in the background for my mouse because I wanted to double check it was 1,000 polling rate. And when I looked at the average PC latency down there, instead of going between about 3 and 4 milliseconds, which it is, but then, as I say, you guys can look at your own one here for that number. You should be able to see whether you're in the 3s or the 4s or the 5s or higher. When I was running that Razer Synapse app in the background, that number was about 7. So it made a huge difference just uninstalling that. So definitely, how do we enable? So first thing you do is you need to have both the NVIDIA driver and NVIDIA Experience Center installed. So I'm afraid you're going to have to install the bloatware that is NVIDIA Experience Center. Then you go into, what is it, Alt-Z, there we go. And then you can configure in here, settings, you can have a HUD layout, and you can go performance, and you can just do latency. And it will show you what your kind of average PC latency is down here. So you don't need to do the full reflex thing that I'm doing, where I have the mouse and the monitor being measured too. But you can see in the middle bit, you can see the PC side of things. So that'll give you a good indication of how well tuned your PC is for latency, that part of it. So yeah, that's something you guys can do. You can turn on this overlay, and you can and just watch what the average. That's a rolling average. Average PC latency is 3.7. I think you can further modify that a bit with, is it performance monitoring? Yeah, if you just kind of make sure that your latency measurements are like 50 at least, and then that should give you a better kind of averages. And then, yeah, it shouldn't jump around as much. The higher you go up, the less it'll jump around, that number down there. You can't do the reflex analyzer because, again, that's part of my, built into my monitor, so you guys can't do that bit. But you can do this bit. You can do this average PC latency. So I'd be curious to see what you guys get for that. As I say, in performance mode for me, it's jumping between like 3s and 4s milliseconds. Does this thing work on any monitor? Yes. So if you set the HUD to performance and then that latency one, not the reflex one, which I use, if you use just the latency one, you should be able to see and play in game, and you can see your average PC latency as you're going. And as I say, I'm about 3 or 4 here. Why do you cap FPS on Fortnite? You don't need to reflex enabled. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You should always cap to a level where your frame times don't go up and down very much. That will give you better muscle memory and thereby better aim. So you should always cap, because it keeps your, and you should cap to not necessarily to the hertz of your monitor, but to whatever FPS your computer can stably run. And if you watch my gameplay in Fortnite, I'm normally capping in game to about 300. I usually cap at 240, but I did some memory overclocking recently, and I'm now capping at 300. You watch my frame time next to it at 3.3, it barely moves. Barely moves. If I was not capping with reflex and it was just going all over the place, then that frame time would go all over the place, and it messes up your muscle memory and it messes up your timing. You can't go lower. 4 milliseconds is best. I'm sure you can go lower. I'm sure my next PC will certainly be lower. Tell you that much. I'm not spending like $4,000 on a new computer if it's not lower. So next one order. This is like 4 or 5 year old hardware. This, so it's doing quite well considering how old it is. But yeah, that's how you set up the GeForce Experience overlay, and then you guys can see those numbers as well. Right, let me put my one back on again, because I get to use the full Monty with reflex. So I've got end-to-end monitoring on my one. So that was 8.7, which is pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. But as I say, normally about 8.2 to 8.3. But recently it's been in the 9s, and I haven't worked out why. I don't know whether Fortnite's changed its code and it's just made it laggy or what. I don't know, but I haven't changed anything else. What else were we going to test? Oh, we were going to test full screen optimization mode still working after the CTT scripts monkeyed with the game DVR stuff, weren't we? So let's see if we can get near 8.7, 8.8 in DX12. Because at the moment, I mean, usually performance mode is lower latency than DX12. But recently, DX12 has stayed the same and performance mode's got worse. So they're both about like 8.8, 8.9. So there's kind of no difference in, but that's only in the last 2-3 weeks. So at the beginning of the season, performance mode was like 8.3 and DX12 was about 9. But now, instead of them both getting worse, the performance modes come up to about the same level. So latency-wise, it doesn't make a lot of difference whether you're running performance mode or you're running DX12. By the way, these tests are not going through RTS, they're going through the in-game limiter. So anyone that says, it's RTSS that's adding latency, I'm not using it at the moment. Okay, let me zoom up a bit. Won't make latency worse. Now, having uncapped will improve latency total because the higher the FPS you're getting, the lower latency you're getting. But the frame times will be jumping around like crazy. So that's not what you want playing a game, especially a game where you have to aim at stuff. You want stable frame times, which is one of the reasons as well why RTSS is so good. It's not adding any extra latency, RTSS. I don't care what anyone tells you. It doesn't. I've measured it a million times with this. And it's making your frame times really consistent. So definitely use RTSS if you can. But I've taken it out of this equation when I'm doing it because I know people will complain while I'm testing and say, it's because of RTSS. Right, okay, so in theory now, if that CTT debloat script hasn't messed with FSO, full screen optimizations, then I should be getting about 8.8, 8.9 with DX12 now. If it's a lot higher, then we know it broke something. So let's find out. Let's find out. Have you tested hardware prefetcher, adjacent cache line prefetch in BIOS at all? Hang on. So I've done, I've tested prefetch and superfetch, and I've run like FPS replays where you run it once, take a baseline, run it, same replay again, measure that, run it again, and each time, if you've got superfetch on, each time it's smoother. If you take off superfetch completely, then it's not smooth. So I've started putting superfetch back on. Prefetch is mostly, I think, for just loading the game in the first place, not so much for the actual gameplay. But I have tested that, and I've put the benchmarks on my Discord, published for all to see. I'm not making it up. Right. Run the same test again. Alt 4, reset the numbers. Ready, steady, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice the average PC latency is no longer in the 3s and 4s. So it's top end 4s and 5s. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So 9.3. So it's about half a millisecond more latency in DX12 than performance mode. About half a millisecond on the same FPS. But that tells me the FSO is working. So I don't think the CTT tool broke FSO. So that's a good thing. I'm happy with that. Nobody plays in creative looking up at the sky. Yeah, it's very rough looking at your rough guide to go into creative, look up at the sky and see what your FPS max is and your 1% lows and 0% lows. Very rough. So what I do is I find a busy Fortnite replay to test FPS in. I go to an exact timestamp in it. So I like type T and then put a number in like 1,000. That will take it to like 12 minutes, and then I run a 3-minute replay, and I record it all with CapFrameX. Then I change one parameter. I then go back to the beginning of the replay, 1,000 seconds in or something, and then I run it again. And then you can compare exactly whether it's better or worse FPS from that one change. And it's very, very consistent as well. I can run the same replay multiple times without changing anything, and it will give almost exactly the same results. So it's very sensitive, CapFrameX, to if you set up the test conditions correctly, to being able to compare whether one thing's better than the other thing. That's the best way to test FPS that I've found. And CapFrameX is free, so there's no reason why you guys can't use it yourselves. You measure your end-to-end latency with a high-speed camera to be around 8 milliseconds. You've done an LDAT, have you, with a high-speed camera? Wow. Yeah, I mean, when Frithie recently compared the NVIDIA Reflex Latency Analyzer built into monitors with high-speed cameras, they were very similar, the results. So it did kind of validate both of them, that they are very similar. I think the high-speed cameras are typically a bit more of an expensive and awkward setup, though, than having a chip built into your monitor. All right. So I'm happy with that, I think. So yeah, thumbs up for CTT debloat tool with a couple of caveats of things you need to do afterwards. But again, I'll put that in my next guide, so we should be good to go on that. Anything else we need to test? Anything else to test? Are you using FSE or FSEO? So DX12 will not work with FSE. Sorry, yeah, FSE. So DX12 will run with FSO. So this is DX12 right now. So it's FSO. Performance mode in DX11 will work with FSE, but it's quite a faff to actually get it working. You have to make sure like Xbox game bars and things are not running. You have to, typically you have to run a few registry tweaks to get it running. But as I say, these days I've tested both FSE compared to FSO, and there's nothing in it. You may be 0.2, 0.3 of a millisecond, not much. It's almost now not worth bothering with FSE, full screen exclusive mode. It's just not worth bothering. Microsoft have improved FSO so much that it's pretty much good. No, I haven't looked at Atlas OS. I only look at what most people will be getting with their gaming computers when they buy the computer, which is Windows 11 Home Edition these days, because you can't buy Windows 10 anymore. Microsoft won't sell you licenses, and all the other operating systems I don't really want to use. Thank you. I'd rather use an officially supported Microsoft one, and then debloat it as much as I can. That's just me. Right. You are all free to make your own choices. Yeah. Atlas OS is massively stripping down Windows. So I don't want to do that. No thanks. Right. Anything else? What else? Anyone else want to suggest something we test while we're in our latency mode? Probably go back to performance mode actually quickly. Anything else we want to test? Anyone that tells you on plus boost isn't the best one here is making it up, because on's rubbish and off is even worse. So always on plus boost. I've tested it end-to-end latency. Always on plus boost. One thing's interesting though. Look, I'll do this before we go. If you turn on the latency debug stats, which are back now, by the way. I don't know whether anyone's seen that. Let me just leave these alone. Where's the display? We'll go back to what we were. Line test, decline. Right, so see up here, tell me to what, I'll make the HUD a lot bigger so you guys can see. I'll make the HUD crazy big. All right, gonna make it 125%. There we go. We've got a big HUD up there. That's as big as I can make the text. So you can see up there that the total says about 3.4 milliseconds. Right, these are the Fortnite ones, yeah? You can see that it's about 3.5, 3.6, 3.5. Watch what happens. Actually, before I do that, but down here on the NVIDIA ones, it's got average PC latency 5.4, 5.2. Watch what happens when I change FPS. So I'm going to go from 360 all the way down to 30, right? We should decrease latency, yeah? All that's happening up there is that the total latency has not changed, and it's just updating slower. Can you see that? It's just updating slower. But now if you're going down here and look at the average PC latency, 20, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that tells me that doesn't work. So anyone using that Fortnite latency thing wouldn't believe any of the numbers there, because I don't think it works. If you change FPS that drastically, those numbers should change as well, and they're not. It's still, that's correct. That is not correct. Yeah, I'm not interested in Atlas OS at all for Zide. Sorry, no interest here of that. No custom OSs. I've got nothing against custom OSs. I don't want to use them. It's a playbook. Yeah, I just don't, no. As I say, just debloat, and then that's as good as I want to go. I don't want somebody else making my operating system that isn't Microsoft, Apple, or open source Linux. Thank you. Don't know what it's doing in the background, so I don't want to be involved in it. Hard pass. No, we want 360. Right. The other thing I was going to do is I you guys that RTSS is not adding any extra latency, wasn't it? Again. Yeah, it's not a path I want to go down at all. No, thank you. Perfectly happy with what I've got. Come on, start back up. Why isn't that starting back up again? It says it's running. Hello, Epic Games. Oh, that's nice. Why is it trying to start twice? I didn't try and start it twice. Oh, I love Fortnite and its many bugs. The thing that's bugging me the most at the moment in Fortnite is the replays that sometimes lose complete audio. So you try and play a replay to do some tests on it, and it's got no audio all of a sudden. And then you're testing a replay that you've already benchmarked with audio versus the same replay but with no audio. Does that invalidate the results? I don't know. Does anybody know? So it's annoying me, that one. They need to fix that one ASAP. I don't know what it is with replays. I don't know. They've always been working fine, replays in Fortnite. And then recently they messed it up where you had all the exclamation marks and crosses where you got kills and things. That disappeared, and then they fixed that, and now we've got the audio bug. Yeah, Sambo, I just let it go, mate. Let it go. If someone wants to talk about Atlas OS, then they can do it somewhere else. I'm just going to ignore it. Right, what are we doing? We're going to put unlimited on, and then we're going to do RTSS, won't we? Unlimited cosmic power. Eeny beeny living space. Alright, so we're going to do it in here. Ooh, look at all this extra latency we're about to add. I bet it'll add some latency now. Just to spite me. So we've moved the FPS limiter from the game one to RTSS. And we're going to see how the latency is going to balloon. Okay, my HUD is ridiculously big, and I need to turn off those stats that don't work. I need to turn it off. I actually tried changing the HUD the other day to see if it would affect latency. Whether a smaller HUD would affect latency. Should we try that again in a minute? Put it back to where it was. Got to make these comparisons fair. Only change one thing, test again. That's the rule. Change one thing, test again. Right. Start game. Bala 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 bum bum bum. What time is it? 4:20. I need to do some work. Actually, I need to call an insurance company very soon. So this is the last thing, and then I need to wrap it up and then go and call my car insurance renewal people, because they're going to be going home probably at 5, and I need to renew my car insurance. Haven't done it. Haven't done it. Right. Alt, not F4, just Alt 4 to restart. Right. 1. Right, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was a load of network packet loss there. You see that? Ran across the top. It's in red. There's a load of network packet loss. Start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 9.3. That is a bit higher. A bit higher. I don't want to attribute that to RTSS though, so we're going to go immediately back and test it without RTSS. I don't want to. Said it was going to spike me, didn't I? It within the same game without restarting, so that should be a bit better of a comparison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 8.8. Okay, it is spiking. Well, 8.9 finished on. So RTSS is adding an extra 0.4 milliseconds according to this now. But that's not my prior experience, so I'm surprised at that. Let's put this back on again. And let's go frame time limit instead. And make this unlimited. No, don't do that. Right. So back in RTSS, but we're prioritizing frame times over frame FPS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Did on 9. So with RTSS set at frame time limit, it's getting 9, and with the in-game limiter, it's getting 8.8. So 0.2 more. 0.2 more for consistent frame times, which also helps FPS drops, RTSS, which have an associated latency with those as well. So yeah, that's still weird that it's like a whole millisecond higher than it normally is. Still don't know what that is. All right, well, what time is it? Yeah, I better go and ring my car insurance company, sort that out. I will be back on this evening though, I think, for some games with the boys. I think they're probably on already, aren't they? Are they on already? Biscuit's on, Mike's on. So I could go and join them, but no, I need to sort my car insurance out. Car insurance. I need to give them a call. All right, well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Go and complain on my Discord if you didn't like what you saw. It's all rigged, clearly. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys a bit later. All right, bye for now, everybody. Bye.